Date, getting your COVID-19 vaccination is an important part. Help everyone stay safe as we continue to fight the spread. And we can protect those most vulnerable around us. With easy access to vaccination locations and a growing ability for more people to be protected, it's our best shot to keep moving forward. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. For more information, visit miamidade.gov/vaccine.
All right, good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday and it's 11 a.m., which means it's time for the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM, where we present live weekly performances in the WDNA Jazz Gallery and feature students, faculty, alumni from Florida International University's Herbert and Nicole Wertheim School of Music and Performing Arts. I am your host today, Jesus Gallimore, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Velaz, we'd like to welcome you to our show, whether you're listening to us at home, in your car, or live on wdna.org/FIU. We are delighted to have you with us. So let's make this real quick. Today, it's going to be a special performance. We're featuring Dr. Russ Spiegel and his organ trio. Of course, on guitar is going to be Dr. Spiegel. On organ is going to be Jim Gager. And on drums is going to be Lucas Apostolaris. And to start, the first tune is named Slippery Slope. Very, very cool. Once again, you're listening to the Russ Spiegel organ trio group. Once again with Dr. Spiegel on guitar, Jim Gager on the organ, and Lucas Apostolaris on the drums. And in just a second, we're gonna have our second tune, which is called Smooth Move. that was really, really, really good. So once again, you're listening to the Russ Spiegel Organ Trio with Dr. Spiegel on guitar, Lucas Apostolaris on drums, and Jim Gager on the organ. So, Dr. Spiegel, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. We had a nice concert last night in Lanyap, and tomorrow we're going to be at Glass and Vine.
Ooh, okay.
And then on Thursday and Friday, we are going into the studio to record these new tunes that you've been hearing.
Oh, nice. So, speaking of recordings, and since we're doing interviews right now real quick, what is your process when it came to this album that you're coming up with? What was the compositional process? Were there any kind of motivations for doing it, or you had material that you kind of just had for a while and you kind of wanted to record it? What's your thought process behind this album?
Well, first of all, this is a long time in coming. We were actually scheduled to go into the studio March 2020, which was the week we got shut down here in Miami and probably pretty much all across the country. So the tunes I had and the personnel I had, well, that changed to a certain degree.
Right.
And in the meantime, once COVID began, I started writing new tunes, started coming up with new concepts, and when we finally could get out of here again, I started traveling. And so a lot of my music is based on experience I've had in traveling. Like, we're going to get to some of those tunes later. Like, one is called The Streets of Milan, because last summer, my wife and I finally had a chance to have our honeymoon because we got married during COVID times and couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so we were traveling through Europe, and one is called The Streets of Milan. Another one is called Underdown Groove, because I finally got to visit my brother who lives in Australia.
Oh, nice.
And so that's sort of dedicated to my time down there. And so a lot of this stuff comes from travel, from getting to see the world.
Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting. What about the band?
What about the band? I've been very fortunate to be playing with these wonderful musicians for quite a while now. I think maybe 6-7 years with Jim, with Lucas probably 4. What's about something like that. And I like to think we have a pretty good communication on stage when we're playing together. They're wonderful musicians, and of course, having a lot of experience, a lot of musicality, and being able to intuit what's going to happen next. We're often on the same wavelength, or so we listen well to one another. Right. And that's really important in a band situation.
Yeah, and it really helps that, not just in a band situation, but outside. I mean, a lot of people can't see, but when we came here earlier, you guys were just joking around and just talking and then communicating in a way that it's very rare to see within other musicians before
we
performance.
Talk to one another? What?
At least I like to think you did. So it's actually really cool to see that, because it's really rare to see that kind of camaraderie within the group, and then just outside when you guys are not playing music. So personally, since you're recording this album, is there like any preparations that you're doing personally for it?
I'm trying to work on my tune so I don't sound like I don't know what I'm doing. I think that's the thing, because I unfortunately I write tunes that sometimes are harder for me to play. It's like, well, who wrote this? Why did I write this? So it's always a challenge to me. But you know, the muse takes you where it takes you, and I just let that happen. When the songs come, they come. Sometimes they're simple, and sometimes they're not. And I don't know where or why. But usually it comes from the germ of some idea.
Right.
And then I just go with it, and then it's like I got to figure out how to get through it.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like that. I mean, you put it away, but it doesn't sound like that from here.
Thank you so much.
So finally, would you like to plug in your socials, and do you have any upcoming gigs as well?
Let's see. My social, I think my Instagram is at Russ.Spiegel, I think it is, Spiegel. People tend to spell it Gal or Gle or some other strange ways, or EI, but it's Spiegel. And then it's also, you can follow me on Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram. I do not tweet. I tried it. I tried it many times, and I was dissatisfied with the experience, so I let it go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And for gigs, well, we'll be at Glass and Vine tomorrow night, and hopefully some more stuff is coming up. I'll have to check my calendar. I actually don't know what we're doing.
Oh, well, that's a
I'm
good
just
thing.
I'm just coming back because I just came back from a long trip. I was on tour in Australia and New Zealand, and I'm just getting back and fighting jet lag.
Oh, man. Well, Dr. Spiegel and the guys from the band, thank you so much. Next up, we're going to have Caribbean Blue Part 1.
Right, and this may be this is the working title for the CD.
Oh, okay.
So there are two parts, and this is the first one. Hence
well,
the title.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And when we record it, we'll also have the great Hendrik Merkens on chromatic harmonica playing on this. But not today.
Aw.
It's going to be me.
You've been listening to the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM with the Russ Spiegel Organ Trio, and we will be right back after these messages. All right, and now we're back from our break with the Russ Spiegel Organ Trio with the next tune, The Streets of Milan. All right, and next up, we're gonna have a special guest, singer Ben Beal, and the group will be performing the tune "Inquietude."
Meu coração canta, é a hora do amor. Quando o tempo parar e dois sal comum, noite em chorar e palmeiras balançar e melodias tocar entre as estrelas enquanto estou aqui tão cheio de dúvida, perguntando que eu tenho inquietação. Eu sou tão tolo em inquietação. Tonight my heart it sings. It is the time for love, the moment when time stops and two are as one. Night fills the air and palms sway up above. I'm such a fool. I'm such a fool.
All right, you've been listening to the Russ Spiegel Organ Trio with Dr. Spiegel on the guitar, Jim Gager on the organ, and Lucas Apostolaris on the drums on WDNA 88.9 FM. I've been your host, Jesus Gallimore, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Velaz, I'd like to thank WDNA's sound and tech wizard, Alex Aldrich, and the staff of WDNA 88.9 FM for today's broadcast. If you would like more information on all of our programs, make sure to call at 305-348-2896 or simply like our Facebook and Instagram pages to stay up to date for our upcoming performances. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to join the FIU Music Hour for more great music every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to noon. So, guys, the floor is yours. It's 12. Oh, it is 12. Nah, go ahead.